help explain this to us later on. But here we also see the balance between the cut edges versus the torn edges, and I think that.
Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start. Okay, welcome to my studio. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday. So let's do some. Let me move my. I think my video. I'm gonna move here. So. Okay. Let's do some still life this morning. Okay. The first step is to do a wash. I'm going to use burnt sienna to do a wash. I hope you guys can hear me. Yesterday I just realized that my volume is so low, so I apologize for that. I hope this time you guys can hear me better. I mean, if you are in my live stream, please say hi to me. But I can still pay without any people watch, because as I say, this is a good way for me to display myself, so I don't need to get distracted easily. Right now I use Maple Yellow, Olympic Camel Yellow, because I want to create a basic color. Normally people use a sweeping wash like pure water for the subject, but I feel like that's so boring. I want to create my own methodology. So you can use a really light yellow or warm tone for your subject. And the painting reference, I cannot put that, but because I pay it with a teacher in a live stream, I don't think it's okay to post her work on my streaming. But he did teach us how to do this still line. I think it's drawing with dog. It's for free. And right now I try to use velvet, but the surface is very wet, so you can either use a damp towel or blow dryer to lightly dry the surface. So what I'm going to do is to do the velvet technique. I use burnt sienna. Yeah, burnt sienna is fine. It's very rusty, so burnt sienna is burnt sienna is the right way to go. I try to create the rusting surface. It's all about how to do the texture for this one. Because this is the second layer, I try to nail the value first. As I say, value is more important than color. And I just create a little bit texture. Okay. It was raining outside. I think it's still. So I cannot walk my dog out. I may just come here to do some drawing or painting on live stream. I think that is fun. this color is different. Hold on, let me see. I can do a bit light wash. I use cobalt turquoise. It's a strong color, so be mindful for that. The surface right now is so wet, which is what I want, because the first layer is all about how to blow in the color, the shade, and the form. Also, you can fix your drawing. My drawing is fine. I don't want to talk about my drawing. I just want to paint directly. So right now I still use burnt sienna because I don't want to get overwhelmed by the color match, which is the least important at the beginning of the painting process. The moment you try to nail the right color from get-go, you will fail miserably. Trust me, you don't want to do that. You don't want to draw in the big shade, see the big picture, and then the detail of the color match will come way later. And this is Van Dyke Brown. I love Van Dyke Brown. It's a beautiful color. Okay. I know I'm not supposed to do this while, but I just want to block in the shade. It's a little bit too early, but I can't help it. Sometimes I need to break the rule just to fit my style, and you can do your own. I try to take advantage of the Van Dyke technique, but it seems like my surface already dry, which is fine. I can still use dry brush technique. It's a rusty lamp, so I try to create some texture. That surface is still wet, so that's perfect. And then you can blend, use a water brush, just no paint, just water to blend it. I love the watercolor effect of this. This is the main reason why I switched from oil acrylic to watercolor, because the blending is easier, far easier than acrylic especially. Oil you can still blend because it's very buttery. Acrylic is so hard to blend. I get so frustrated, but if I do portrait, I may try to use acrylic because it's easier to create texture. Okay. I think I'm going to use Passion Blue. It's a strong color, so be mindful for that. You can see right now I just want to outline the shade. Use the Passion Blue to fix my drawing, because I don't think my drawing is correct. And that is magenta. I mean, you won't see magenta in the still life, but you can create your own color. I just want to create more texture, make it less boring, because still life is boring, can be so boring if you just so faithful to the photo reference. So you can try to be more creative. Also, right now I try to use between wet and very dry technique. This is so dry, so I can use dry brush, and this is wet. I can use wet technique. I think this color is right, but I can try to fix it. I just use between Van Dyke Brown, burnt sienna, and then partial blue. Sometimes a little bit of magenta. Hold on. Let me see the photo reference. The photo have so much detail, but because I'm doing a small little painting, I don't think I need to put all the detail. I only need to suggest. Sometimes it's so hard to pick or simplify. Photo reference is so hard. So you need to train your eye how to look at the big shade, not get sucked into the detail from get-go. I think right now I get sucked into the detail, but that's fine because it's playtime. It's a Saturday morning, you know. I just woke up, so I can do that. I think the lame color is. Let me do a wash first because I want to use wet on wet technique here. I think the turquoise is not strong enough. That's why I'll try to fix the value here. But the label is almost done. It's just that easy. Try not to overdo your piece. And because I use magenta, so I want to put down the color over, so the color won't feel isolated. How that makes sense? Like color harmony, is that what you call? Yeah. You don't want to only have a color in some place. You need to put it everywhere. That's what I learned from oil painting process. Go from light to dark. That's the general principle. And here, I think it has a little bit rusty texture, so I try to create. Sometimes it's so hard to create randomness because this is so random. The rusty texture. So you don't know what the form should be, but just try to do your best to nail that. And here I see blue. Yeah. No, that's blue, right? But the color sometimes is so neutral. I try to see the color. It's so hard. But I try to abide the warm and cool. I mean, blue tend to be cool. Yellow and red tend to be warmer. So that shadow side is cool color, I guess. This is like, this is sepia and this partial blue, okay? at the very beginning, I tried not to use sepia because I feel like that's cheating because it's like black. I was always taught not to use black directly, as you guys know, the cliche. But wow, I use almost the most often color on my palette because it's super convenient. I said, why not, to make my life easier? I wanted to use it. I mean, at the very beginning of your painting, you should mix your own black. But I paint since 2019, so I'm so tired to mix the right, quote unquote, right black. So I just use whatever my palette has. If my palette has black, I said, why not? I just use it. The color right now here is so subtle. Okay, I try to do a wash because I missed the velvet. So here I put down some water. Because I'm gonna try to take advantage of the watercolor, the bleeding, so it can create a texture for me. Sometimes people use sea salt or salt and then spring over to create a texture, but I don't want to use salt on my palette or on my painting. I feel so weird. I mean, you can use it, I just use, but I hate it. I don't like it at all. People have different methodology to do their own painting. I tried it and I don't like it, so I move on. So, and that's the bleeding effect I want. Okay, I lose the texture here, so when I add on that on because it's very rusty. You don't need to apply the photo reference. You can just, if this rusty, it looks good enough, you can move on. But I feel like I can do a better job for that. I think it's too partial blue. I want to neutralize, add a little bit magenta. Yeah, magenta. Okay, and this is burnt umber, another color I use more often than I should be, but I love this color. Okay. This is so detailed. Oh my goodness, my hand is shaking. Okay, so while it's like that. I don't know. I don't think I did a good job for that. Just need patience. Patience is my last thing I have is patience. I get so much criticized by my teacher before, but that's who I am. I don't have patience. And this one, yeah, I need to see a little bit more. Something like that. Even these have shadow side, so the shadow side I use Van Dyke Brown. Hold on, my brush is so much Balenciaga. So I think you can tell. Small brush. As you go, you need to change your brush to a smaller size. And the other side of that, you can only see a little bit because it's transparent. You can only suggest. So I don't want to. And hold on, I think I need to add more texture of. Yeah. I think that's it, right? What else can I do? I think I need to use smaller brush. I try to use dry brush technique. Turning out the darkest stuff because I'm almost done for this one. There's so much more detail here, but because I do a smaller painting, I don't need to put down all the detail. So that's the beauty of doing small painting, because your eye won't be able to tell you are mixing detail. But if you do a bigger painting, when you mix some detail, people know. But even though people know, some people still appreciate the looseness of your painting. So you don't need to do all the detail, even though you are doing a bigger painting. Okay, I think I'm going to do glazing, because the whole painting is really light, the value. So let it dry first. And I want to put down a light wash, because the whole painting is so light. I think that's it, right? right now I try to take advantage of the velvet technique. I try to show some color of the magenta. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. This is final touch. Okay. I think that's right. Okay, we can to the next one. I did sketch the drawing before, otherwise it will take me forever. I don't think you want to see how I sketch. Okay, so this is a bunch of mug. So let me see how I do that. Clean my palette a little bit. Okay, let's do a wash. I think that is, what's color? I know this color is so blue, but I try to use turquoise instead of the exact color. I try to be creatively, so right now I just try to make the surface. The first layer is always to create a wash to prepare for your second layer. And then the second layer, the value is darker. The value is off, but I can always fix it as long as I don't go too dark. I mean, the beginning of the painting always looks so bad. Oh my god, I think did I go too dark? Oh my god, I think I go a little bit too dark, but the damage is done. I can have to keep going. And then I blend with a water brush. make sure you have a paper towel underneath. It can be so handy. And the rest color, I think it's all yellow ochre and maple yellow. I know I'm not supposed to add yellow, but I love yellow, so let's do yellow. Hold on, let me see. I don't think my color is right. I need to add a little bit more maple yellow. Yeah, let's do 1 or 2 marks each time, otherwise I get overwhelmed. I usually use a bigger brush for that. Hold on. Yes. But the rest color, they're very similar though. I think it's yellow ochre. It's constantly checking. Go a little bit the second layer, you will see the shade. That's so subtle. I don't think people can see that. Then I use midnight brown. I try to nail the value, but it's too bad. Even though right now the value looks good, but after you dry, you become so light, which is fine. I don't want to go too dark, but really it's so hard to see the value when it's that red, because after it's dry, the value change a little bit. So you don't want to go too dark. It looks okay, right? Oh my god. This is so bad, the painting. And let's do what color should I do? Cobalt blue? Sure, why not? the red mark is there to suggest, to pop this mark and this mark. Maybe this mark too. They are not the hero. They are the green leaf, not the flower. But they are still important. This is so detailed, already stuck into the detail. This is not good, guys. That's not good. But I can't help it. Okay. This looks bad, but it is what it is. I can do the ring, so the ring, because I think it's time to do the ring. So my painting will look slightly better. Otherwise, it's a hot mess. You. This is what it is, you know. It's gonna look good, but I try my best to fix my drawing. Looks okay, right? And try to use a little bit velvet. God, I need to fix this color. This color is a little bit. And the color here is dark. I just want to suggest there's a mark here. I need to wet this mark because I want to paint this mark. Small brush. I think I go a little bit too small, but I don't have the brush in between, so either too big or too small. I know some people can use one brush for a whole painting. I used to do that, but I get so bored. So I try to change things a little bit. That's why I change brush more frequent than I should, I guess. I don't know what is going on here because the reference photo is so blurred. That's so dark, like the darkest dark here. But right now, I just want to suggest and see how the painting go before I put down more. This is sepia, so okay, just a text. It looks okay. It looks okay. And the value here is darker. Should I do a bigger painting next time because it's so tiny? I can't even see what is going on here, let alone you guys. Right. My drawing is bad. Right now it's not the painting, it's the drawing. Looks okay, right? Hold on. I think I need to emphasize that this color, originally I saw is too dark, but right now after the color dry, it become too light. This is okay, I can always fix it. But if it's too dark, I can't fix it. So hard to lift the color, paint the bird. So we are using the cobalt turquoise. Okay. Okay. What is this color? It's very rusty. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think we need another ring first to have the some kind of form. Like that. If anyone would, please say something in the chat so I know you are here. But if nobody watch, I can still have a good practice myself. Always be happy you have a good day to create. There's always a bad painting, but it's always good practice, right? That's how we grow and how we learn. You know, my channel, I know it's not a big platform, but even 1 or 2 people watch will make my day so much happier. But as I say, I don't need to have somebody watch. The purpose of the live stream is to discipline myself to just pay. Because if I don't turn on my the live stream, I get distracted easily. Either I drink coffee, I snack, I cannot get anything done. So live stream is a good way to force me to pay. If there are people bored, that would be the best, to be honest. Because painting or art generally is a solitary hobby, but we don't need to do that. It's not necessary to be lonely, you know. Oh boy, it leaked, but that's happy accident. Happy accident. I would be so unhappy for that. Oh my god, it's so delicate. I hate it. I want to loosely. Oh, the watercolor painting. Okay, this part is done. This color is so dark because that is under the shadow, and I did not do a good job to execute. I mean, that's fine. Okay. Okay, and the up. I don't know what is going on here. I think it's green color. They are all the same color for. It's so bad. Okay, I just read the surface. I almost finished this sketchbook. I feel so good about that. But I think next time I need to do a bigger sign, so you guys can see what the hell I'm doing here easily. So the big green, so I mix maple yellow and cobalt turquoise, so you can see this is a big green color. It's green? I guess it's green, right? What is that? Okay. Oh my god, it's so subtle. I just want to be a big green tone. Green tone. How to put that? My English suck. Green tone. The tone. Okay, whatever. It's very loose, and here I think it's that. I think that focus point is done. Right now, I try to make sure this is a finished painting, so I try to work on other subject. So we'll see. Oh my god, okay. A little bit yellow ochre. Because I need to add value. I need to bound the value to see. Is okay, it is this color. I know I did not mix the right value, but I'm trying. I am trying so hard. Please don't fail me. I'm trying so hard. That is the shadow. become light value is so bad, but this is what I want. I see the purple, so I mix magenta. In case you don't know, I love magenta. That's almost my favorite color. My favorite color actually is cobalt turquoise, and then is magenta. I used to love ultramarine blue, but that color is over popular, and I feel like I want to stand out. I try to use other color, and bam, I can completely ditch ultramarine blue without using it, without any issue, you know. And you don't usually see ultramarine blue in ocean or anything, so I am fine without it. Okay, so right now, I think the value is what I need to know. So you can see you have some basic shade, because the upper those cup is all about to use the shadow to form the shade. Oh, I love the bleeding effect. That used to drive me nuts, but right now I try to appreciate that effect, because you can get an effect for other media like oil and acrylic. You can't get that. It's so hard. But with the color, you can easily do that. I used to be a control freak when I do painting, but the color forced me to not be a control freak. And this color is yellow ochre. Yeah, this is the handle, which I did not do a good job, as you can see. Okay. Looks okay, right? Okay. Okay. I think that's good enough. At least look like a finished painting. As long as the focus points stand out, the rest can be so loose. you can't put detail everywhere. You confuse the audience. Also, I don't have the patience to do it out everywhere. That's the most important reason why I can't do detail. Why I cannot finish the rest. It's like I want to move on, you know. The main reason why I don't do oil is the patient thing. I love oil, it's just like so took forever to dry. I don't have the patience, definitely not the patience to wait on 3 days for Lego to dry. That's why I won't say I give up on oil. I still use it when it's needed. Like if it's a sky, I do sky painting. Due to the buttery texture of the oil, very easy to blend, I think I will choose to use oil to do sky. Other than that, I don't know. Definitely not still life. It will take me forever to finish one. I did do a still life, do some still life with oil. It's okay. Do they look like Mark? I think so, right? Okay. Alright, I think you guys have a fantastic